I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer, Great One. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
Before you all decide I'm going to go the corporal route, before you all, there's what was it? There's always room at the top. There's not room at the top. You got like this bout of diarrhea that just is not leaving your colon. And to tell that road blockage of diarrhea, like a big old chunk of hard poo, and it's just keeping everybody else from getting through this digestive tract. And before you, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to get a good degree, I'm going to work for a corporation. Until this logjam clears and you boomers get the fuck out of the way, which you're not. I know you're not going to. For you younger people, this is again why I'm recommending, we've always recommended entrepreneurship. We more modernly are recommending go become an accountant or the trades. You do not have time. Part of meritocracy is that the old guard would finally go the fuck away and people could move up in ranks, that there be progress. Dude, I'm being honest. I don't think there was ever, I got promoted from regular analyst to senior analyst. I never got a promotion except for that one time. Every other time it was I'd apply for another job and they give me a higher rank and higher pay, which is standard now. But if there was if you had any delusions about, well, I'm going to come in there and I'm going to be a Boy Scout and I'm going to work real hard and then they'll recognize no. And by the way, this is from Fortune magazine. Reen sent this over, and I'm aware of the big clump of poo that is preventing the rest of us from being shat out in our career of the American corpo digestive tract. But I believe your Fortunes, your Forbes, these are now all clickbaity, because they know that the generational wars or the generational agitation gets clicks. So I'm wondering, all right, is this really a thing? Or are you just saying this is the edgy thing now? And of all things, Fortune and Forbes, like, didn't you baby boomers read that? Didn't they say something about saving for retirement? The new retirement is no retirement. Baby boomers are keeping jobs well into their 60s and 70s because they like going to work. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. You have to go to work. That is, I mean, you might like going to work. I know my old man tried to retire, couldn't do, like, nah, I got to go do something. Okay, cool, fair play. The rest of you have to work. Almost 20% of Americans 65 and older are employed. I'm surprised it's that low. The numbers I had was more around 30, although that was approaching a decade ago. And then with the inflated stock market in the past 10 years, I guess you guys did have enough money to retire. Nearly double the share of those who were working 35 years ago. So only 1 in 10 of the old timers, let's call it the World War II generation, they got out of the way. As the U.S. grapples with what the future of work will look like, self-employment, it's over for you corpos. It is so over for you corpos. You're going to get a dwindling percentage of people who drink the Kool-Aid. Oh my God, I'm going to go sit in this cubicle and then I'll prove it. And then I'm going to get downtown and then I'm going to become an executive and a director. No. The internet's out there. You can't fool these people anymore. At 73, George Cavenden would be spending his days on a golf course in Florida with friends who have long been retired, but the New Hampshire resident would rather mentor younger coworkers and chat up clients than measure putts on a green, or maybe just give up your job so a young up-and-coming buck could do it. Kevin tried out his retirement in his 50s and quickly discovered it wasn't for him. The flexibility was nice, but he was soon bored with spending his days puttering around the house and missed the camaraderie of a workplace. Okay, I'll go with that. As long as you're like taking a second-ranked position, you're not preventing the young up-and-coming buck who's got a family you'd like to support. He likes to ski and golf, but can only spend so much time on those two hobbies. Plus, his wife and kids had their own routines, often leaving him alone. So he decided to pursue his second career, this time in marketing in a small firm. He's been there for 18 years and has no intention of taking his foot off the gas anytime soon. Retirement to me is a scary thing. How much can you lay on the beach? Not a lot. Captain tells Fortune. For my own personal mental health and well-being, I like being active and working. Cavden is part of a growing number of baby. He sounds like he could retire. If he was retiring at 50, sounds like he had the money. The rest of you know. No, you're paying off your fourth divorce or whatever. Growing number of baby boomers, many of whom are college educated. There's your competition. Who continue to work well past 65, not because they can't afford to retire, but simply because they love their work and don't want to give it up. In fact, the number of those who have continued to work past 65 has quadrupled since the 80s. I wasted so much time doing the logical thing. Get a degree, work in this industry, work in this field, do your best. And every one of you motherfuckers was a roadblock. Every single one of you. And some of you were criminals. Not that anyone got arrested, because no one could get arrested in the housing bubble, but I mean criminal levels of activity. Like their behavior, their ethics were criminal. Now almost 20% of Americans 65 and older are employed, double what it was 30 years ago. Until there are around 11 million Americans 65 or older who are working today, accounting for 7% of all wages and salaries paid to the U.S. employers. In 1987, they made up 2%. And as Pew Research also shows, for many of those older Americans, they work not just for the money, but like Cavden, for the camaraderie as well as the mental stimulation. I go on my vacations. I do what I want to do, he says. I get up in the morning. I have a place to go, and that's what I like. I like going to work. A much higher portion of baby boomers have college degrees compared with generations before them and have worked less physically taxing jobs. This first generation of knowledge workers, get the fuck out of here. Knowledge workers. Backstabbing corporapolitic bullshit workers. Bureaucrats. Contributing to a huge exponential shift in America's economy, says Mark Walton, a journalist and the author, Unretired, How Highly Effective People Live Happily Ever After, which he tells the story of Americans aged 60 to 80 who have opted out of leaving the workforce. The title refers to accelerating trend in baby boomers retiring, returning to the workforce. And there's a bunch of pop-ups. They are transforming professional and executive career trajectories and what they may look like for generations to come, Walton tells Fortune. Imagine that you got to send some kids through college, which you shouldn't be doing. You're in your 50s and you can't make executive, you can't make senior, you can't make director because Herman's stuck in there. In his book, I mean, again, if they're just doing it on the side, hey, I want to get out, and you're not taking away someone's livelihood. I want to know how many of you are log jamming the rest of it. Still working high. Walton highlights the experience of Americans over 60 who are still working high-stress jobs, including entrepreneurs and doctors at the renowned Mayo Clinic. Over and over, these workers told him they tried to retire but were bored or began to feel as they lacked purpose, a well-documented issue in retirement. Loneliness, an American epidemic, is even more common among retirees. Well, then you all shouldn't have gotten divorced. Maybe you'd have like grandkids or something. The anecdotes are backed up by research. Early on, Walton cites a study from two psychologists. Oh, this is real. That looked at the experiences of 1,500 retirees and 400 people of the same age who are still working. The study found that around 44% of retirees were happy with their lives. The others, more than half of these surveys, reported feeling some combination of loneliness, emptiness, and hopelessness. Sounds like a you problem, guys. The more successful you've been, especially financially, the more likely you are to feel like a failure in retirement, says Walton. What kind of person doesn't want to have money and be retired? Turns out there's a certain kind of person. They've been in careers. They're very curious and very competitive. Yeah, okay. Pensions, large reliance. They talk about the other generations. I'm going to skip over this. Let me find the other article Reen sent. Come on, Reen, where'd it go? Boy, I don't want to mention your real name. I don't want to mention this, but I got to mention this. The industry you work in, which is corrupt beyond all fuck. You got an old timer there who just won't get the fuck out of the way. That guy should be retired a long time ago. Will they never retire, or do they just have nothing better to do? Nothing better to do. And I also think a lot of them, they put a positive spin. Well, I'm just bored and this is for my health. No, I think a lot of them are, they need to. They don't have the money. Well, I guess they don't have grandchildren are protesting Tesla. Anyway, here's an article. Just saw this at work today. Let me get this other one. What is this? MIR network? The Boomerang Boomers is returning to work the right move. Retirement is something most workers look forward to. This transitional period brings the promise of leisure, travel, enjoying the fruits of your own labor. However, a new trend, unretirement. Oh, is that the clever buzzword this week, boys and girls? Unretirement. Oh. Tell me you're an unemployed journalist. He's taking a hold at workplaces of all kinds, from the average small business to the largest enterprise. Baby boomers, roughly those born between 46 and 64, are now returning to work. Great. There are many reasons why this trend has taken hold. Unexpected financial challenges. There you go. At least you were honest. Crushing boredom of unstructured days. Or boomer entrepreneurs experiencing the unfortunate collapse of their business. Oh, you're mad. But is returning to work the right move? Generational challenges and changing workplaces mean boomers might be in for more than they bargained for. Here's a look. Can you open this PDF file for me? A Man on the Inside. You guys got to watch that TV show because it's very well done, very charming. A young gal, she's a private detective, and she needs to hire an old man to infiltrate a senior living community. And when she's interviewing everyone, she's like, okay, text me a picture. Just text me a picture. Any picture, just text me a picture. And they're going, right. And the reason she hires Ted Danson as the main character, she hires Ted Danson because he can text her a picture because he's not a fucking idiot. Numbers show baby boomer generation is indeed returning to work at record numbers. Approximately 1 in 5 Americans aged 65 or older are now employed. Doubled since the last 35 years. But why are they boomers boomeranging back to the workplace? Hey, that's zany. A few converging factors. For many boomers, the rising cost of living and the economic uncertainty of the post-pandemic era have made returning to work necessary. Well, maybe if you didn't print off all the fucking money and tell us all to go become college-educated idiots, and maybe we might have some housing. Where did the money go? Where did it go? I'm curious, where did the money go? You had the biggest housing boom, the biggest stock market boom. Where did it go? Market fluctuations. The market corrected by 10% one week, and it looks like it gained back 5 to 6%. Really? Because of tariffs? You lost 5%, and your retirement was that fragile? Can you imagine when these boomers turn 85 and their health bills really start adding up? You think this is the worst now. 65-year-olds relatively healthy if they choose to be. Can't wait till they're 85. Oh my God. Market fluctuations. While unexpected healthcare expenses had drained other nest eggs. So instead of comfortable retirement, financial challenges of all stripes account for a large segment of boomers returning to work. Did you know you might incur some medical expenses towards the end of your life? I have a book linked below called Bachelor Pad Economics. There's an entire chapter called the Smith & Wesson program. It's the greatest retirement program ever. You don't suffer in the last dwindling days of your life because you're losing it or you're in pain, and you don't rack up $800,000 in expenses, never passing on an estate to your kid, if you care. Others are discovering what generations of retirees learned before them. Retirement can leave you feeling bored and lacking purpose. I'll go with that legit. Workers of all ages find identity and structure in their careers. The abrupt transition to the good life can lead some feeling empty. Returning to work fills that void. Again, if you would just get out of the way. How many of you are in the way? Man, I'm not playing that. It's a rigged game. I don't mean it's consciously rigged. It's the game is not winnable. You got to go to school for 17 fucking years of your life, more like 19, get a master's degree. Then you got to pay off your student loan debts. Then you got to, no, fuck you. We're not doing it. Self-employed. You guys have fun at corporate and we're commuting. Get the fuck out of here. All this stupid shit. You look back and now, like, were you fucking insane? Meanwhile, some boomers who founded businesses find themselves back in the job market due to the unfortunate failure of those ventures. Well, wait. What happened to your ventures? Wait, are you supposed to retire? Oh, you mean like now you're going and taking other people's jobs because your business failed because you failed to manage it correct? I want to see the stats on that. Like, what do you mean? Barbershop went belly up? What are the boomers running? What kind of restaurant? What kind of businesses are they running? Job market due to market shifts, changing consumer preferences, increased competition, or inadequate succession planning can all cut retirement short. Sounds like a you problem. Oh, everyone gave me shit for doing my estate planning last year. Oh my God, loosen up, Clary, loosen up. And I got there's articles about multi-generational housing. Like, what's that? That's when Gen X pays for their adult children to live with them because they failed to raise their kids right. And the baby boomer parents move in with them. How about no? How about no? These boomerangers, boomerangers. They want to salvage what they can of their businesses. Others simply need to find new employment or support themselves and their families. Pros of boomers returning to the workforce. Are there going to be cons? Hang on, I'm getting hot. This is way too hot in this room. The sun is on that side. Oh, feeling better. All right. While you might think it's unfortunate for people retirement age to be back in the office, there are actually many upsides. Experience and wisdom. Get the fuck out of here. $36 trillion in national debt, student loan like catastrophe. Everyone's got to go to college. Outsourcing your kids, and then what was the other thing? What was it? Oh, inflation. Oh, and the housing crisis, the financial crisis. You're gonna tell us about how many divorces y'all got? Experience and wisdom. Your financing planning is so bad. You're gonna get, dude. Boomers, you should shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up for the rest of your life. You don't give advice. You go sit in the corner and be fucking quiet. Maybe even apologize to the kids you lied to all these times. Mentorship potential. Why? How to crash a bank? How to go get more Social Security? What is the mentorship? What would you mentor us? How to go into debt? How to get divorced 3 times? What would tell us? What expertise would you bring to the younger generations? Boomers have accumulated industry expertise, institutional knowledge, and leadership skills for decades. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Mentorship potential. Returning to work creates opportunities for boomers to mentor and guide younger employees. You've never mentored or guided a young employee in your entire lives. You've just obstructed them, made it fucking impossible, and screwed them over. Not a big Democrat, okay? But holy shit, did you guys just pony fuck the younger generations? You don't pay them living wages. You make them go into tech. Get the fuck out of here with your mentor. What are you going to mentor? Good God. Fostering a culture of knowledge transfer. Ooh, buzzword. Hey, CPA societies, are you still requiring master's degrees for people to sit for the CPA exam, but then in the same breath bitching and whining about there not being enough CPAs? Just asking. Just curious. Work ethic. As a whole, boomers are known for a strong work ethic, dedication, and commitment to seeing work through to completion. I'm going to give you a little bit on this one because everyone you raised has gone to shit. I'll give you a little bit that if I have to choose, I'm going to choose a boomer, like an old, aged, experienced boomer before I choose the millennial or Zoomer or X counterpart. The truth is, I'll just do it myself. Cons to the boomerang trend. Of course, the boomerang boomers trend presents potential challenges for both the returning workers and their employees, such as cultural misalignment. The modern workplace has evolved significantly in recent years. No, it hasn't. What? A greater emphasis on technology, remote or hybrid work. Oh, boomers don't like that. They do not like you working remote. So when you guys go back to the office, do you like take baseball bats and beat the younger, like you find out where the remote work and you go drive out to their homes and you beat their kneecaps in? What do you boomers do with the kids that are working remote? You can't have that, right? You slash their tires when they come in once a week. What do you do? A greater emphasis on technology, remote or hybrid work, and collaborative team structures may leave boomers feeling left behind. Ego versus collaboration. Boomers who retired from leadership positions or own their own businesses may find it hard to transition back to the employee role. Some will have to overcome ego issues to be effective collaborators. Hey, go make the coffee. Go make the fucking coffee. And there's your corner. Sit there and shut the fuck up. I want you to write a song. Pen me a song, Herman. I don't know if you're working if I can't see you. Sing me that song, Herman. And then I want you to come up with another song called Hit the Ground Running. Okay. And then you're going to sing it to all the young employees we have here. Financial burdens on companies. Experienced talent costs more in salary and benefits. Boomers offer expertise, but are likely to expect significant compensation for it. Well, then they're not doing it for the money, are they? Or they're not doing it for boredom or loneliness. They're doing it because they have to for the money. Again, I'm fine and you're bored and you got to get out. I know a couple old timers who are like that. But this, well, I'm experienced and I demand respect. Get the fuck out. Go away. Go away. Is it good for businesses and boomers? On one hand, returning boomers offer tremendous. This AI article, Boomerang Boomers. What do you think? Oh, yeah, I hear it. Oh, they got Blue Sky. They don't have Twitter. Oh, this is the email. Oh, look at that. So the MRI network does not like Twitter. Interesting. Let me find the other one. My friend tagged me in this. And it's sensationalism. There are legitimate complaints. Let me find. There are some legitimate complaints I have. There are some serious bad shit that has happened. Come on, just do what I want. But I think all these articles in these magazines are trying to capitalize. By the way, media boomers, like you lied to generations how long? That pisses me off. Where is it? A friend of mine posted. Maybe it wasn't here. I thought it was recent. This is the person. No, that's not. Bear with me, guys. There was another article. The new lunch hobby. Nope, that's not it. No. No. Huh, where'd it go? All right, I can't find it. Just here's the takeaway, if you didn't know it. Corporate America and corporations in general are bureaucratic structures that are just, because of their bureaucratic nature, they do not lend themselves well to meritocracy. Perhaps at some time there's a little bit of it, but it's always been a political shit show. You throw in the flood of college-educated idiots with a leftist brainwashing bent. You throw in boomers who didn't save enough money. You throw in the ineptitude of the baby boomers who, I don't know how many crashes and you don't save the money, and you got divorce, and we could go, and how many trillions in national debt. Before you step on that corporate employment boat, you really ought to say, do I want to deal with this shit? I mean, think about it. Now, I would say it's more my generation that allowed the DEI and ESG shit to come in, but boomers were on that a long time ago. The professors back in the day in the 90s were like, oh, diversity is our strength. No, it isn't. Strength is our strength. Diversity is irrelevant. So, but It was already inept. And now you got DEI and ESG, and now everything's got to be this woke shit. Fuck that shit. Just had a client a little bit ago, like, should I become an electrician or an accountant? I'm like, yeah, if you're an accountant, you're going to have to work for people until you get off on your own. But an electrician, yeah, you're going to have to work for people, but you're not dealing with Karens. You're not sitting in DEI and diversity meetings. And shame on all you American dudes who, okay, I'll go into the DEI. You all should have quit right there and then. We wouldn't have to, but that's a different matter. You're all in debt, bro. The corporate America is not tenable. It's not worth going to college. It's not worth investing or going down the path for a career in it. You may have to spend some time there. You may have to work and get some experience to pay off you. But guys, every one of you young people should get the fuck out of corporate America as quickly as possible. Your plan should be self-employment or the trades, a really good degree. Again, like have an indispensable degree so you're not dealing with this shit where you walk in and there's Herman. Oh, I don't. And you go up to your boss, say, you either get rid of Herman or I'm leaving. And they got to get rid of Herman because you are mission critical. I would just say become a contractor. You all should just become a podcast internet influencing person. There you go. It's just easy, just like that. But no, more seriously, you should, guys, anything. Go become a tradesman. Go work 2 jobs. Go work security. Avoid all these people. Save your money. Be a minimalist. And the God Almighty, 2025. It's like you're still here, huh? Could you let us maybe try to get to the healing stage? Can we start stopping the blood now, or are you going to still be here some more? Potato sauce, $2. Sounds like a them problem. Yes, it does sound like a them problem. Thomas Rao, $5. But Cappy, if boomers retire, then who will buy all the big SUVs, McMansions, RVs, Harleys, and 80,000 K pickup truck? Don't worry. Gen X and millennials are doing that just fine. All you young pups out there buying your Dodge Chrysler sports cars, don't worry. The boomers and Gen X brainwashed you all real good to be consumers. Don't worry. Pringles can with veins, $5. Oh, the irony of watching boomers sell their houses, Corvette, and boats for pennies after all those entitlement don't pay enough to live on. Man, I can't wait. That'd be nice. It's coming. Herman needs a new spleen. Well, you better sell your Corvette. The problem is I don't think anyone wants a Corvette. I mean, maybe a classic Corvette or a classic car, sure, but I don't want your fucking SUV. I don't want your Corvette. What young person wants a Corvette? Who's going to buy a McMansion? I want your McMansion. Who's going to? I got no kids. All right. See you guys later. Links to all my shit down below. Books, courses, yelling, screaming. I'll see you guys later, Toodles.